So besides making Daleks out of wood and stuff, which I've been doing already, and fiberglass, another thing somebody's asked me to do is to build them a cardboard Dalek, a full-size cardboard Dalek. Well, basically, I suggested that because I haven't got the facilities to make a fiberglass Dalek, and I barely got the facilities to make a wooden Dalek due to lack of tools and workshop. But what I can do is build things out of cardboard and reinforce them with fiberglass. So this is the design this guy wants, and it's basically your classic Dalek, but with a paradigm midsection and a paradigm dome, and the eye stalk and the appendages. Actually, I think they're the NSD appendages. But anyway, that's what he wants. Whereas the rest of it's classic skirt and classic neck rings and classic base. So that is doable. Because I've never built a paradigm Dalek before, so I thought I'd start by trying to work out this shape as best as I can. Because the Project Dalek plans are not that thorough on actually how to build this with any. They may have, I don't know, but as a quick glance over the Project Forum, I couldn't find anything that was going to give me much confidence in building one. But what I thought I'd do is I have some old Sevens model kits. I have one anyway. The other one's just an empty box with bits and bobs shoved in it. But what I could do is just build a scale model, just to get my head around this design, particularly with the midsection. So what I'll do is just make copies of all the Sevens casts, or rather, I'll just duplicate them out of cardboard. Just duplicate the measurements. So that's, I've already butchered this model, but that's the original parts that went with the Sevens kit, which I never really bothered building, but maybe I will do one day. I don't really want to chop it up any more than I already have. There's actually two kits there, one that's intact and one that isn't. But what I'll do is I'll make a cardboard copy from all these sections. I've already started with the dome. It's just a mock-up, really, just to get my head around what's going on with this model. So that's why I've built that. And so yeah, I'm just going to make a model, and that's not going to fall off. A scale model. So I've done things like, I'm going to start with the miniature neck rings, because I'm going to have to make those from scratch anyway, and I figure to build neck rings from scratch without a router and blocks of wood and lots of hassle, the best way to do it is to make them out of, if you're going to make a cardboard Dalek, you might as well make cardboard neck rings, and the best way to do it, even on a model scale, is to cut out two round circles, one that's larger than the other, just one is going to go on top of the other, because one is going to be slightly smaller, because this will be the chamfer, basically. And even on a large scale, you do the same. You just have a giant, scale neck ring circles with spaces in between to raise the height, like that. And then put your top on, line it all up. With the top ring being smaller, you could then add filler. You could add expanding foam, for example, expanding filler foam, stuff like that. And when it dries, you can just shave off the edges, because once it's all stuck together, it's stuck together. So here's one I made earlier. So that's one I made earlier using that process, and that's all just filled with glue gun. So I just literally filled, once I stuck the lid on the top with glue, it was just a question of filling it with glue gun. And and it'd be the same process with the full-size neck rings with expanding foam. So just you could use hardboard rings if you wanted to, or cardboard, whatever. But once it's all together, it will make it quite a sturdy structure, and that will do for your budget kind of neck ring. And I guess if you can clean it up enough, it will probably be almost as good as the real neck rings. I guess as long as you don't paint them in something that's going to show up all the dinks and donks, but I think you probably get away with it. So anyway, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm making these scale neck rings to go on a scale model. And then once I've got a scale model, I can of mainly the neck rings and the dome and the skirt. Then once I've got all those bits built, I can then worry about getting my head around how the paradigm midsection is kind of put together. And once I've made a scale model midsection of that to go on my scale model classic Dalek, I can then scale all that up to make a full-size paradigm section that would go on a full-size Dalek. And that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing. But at the moment, I'm just trying to get all the bits together to make the scale model and then take it from there.